Welcome to the what? Welcome to the podcast, bro. Riley, get down. Peyton, say something to the people while I take care of business.
Something to the people while I take care of business. While we wait over here on Dylan to get his kid and do something with him. Now look, see, they always want to come down whenever you're about to get on to them. Anyway, we'll wait on Dylan. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let him introduce today's topic. Kind of wish he'd hurry up, though, so I didn't look stupid here. Finally, you're back.
This man talking random stuff.
Bro, I was straight up saying, like...
What? All right, guys.
I started reading some funky comment on the post.
Oh. So, we are... Bro, are we even live? Yeah, we're live.
We already have a comment.
This thing keeps... Oh, we already have a comment. Okay, Well, commenter, we're coming, bro. I'm just like... We got a new Facebook page settings, and it's like... Oh, Sarah. Yeah, we're revisiting this, Sarah. This is hilarious. If you're watching this, you probably know what this is referring to. But I'm going to try something else. So we're still live. But guys, it's the last day of the year. What's up with that?
You know what that means, right? We got a different year tomorrow.
All right, so Peyton, different year. New year, new me. Got some goals, bro. You know what that means?
New year, same me, bro. I ain't changing.
All right, bro. You monitor the podcast Facebook page, and I'm going to monitor my Facebook page.
I'm already monitoring podcast Facebook page.
So that's what if anybody comments, that's what that's your responsibility.
Well, okay? I got to go back to the original post from you to find any familiar faces. Oh, wait, you deleted it. I won't see any. You're a sissy.
So, just so y'all know, I got hate from everybody because I had it up because I deleted it. So like I was saying, I changed the Facebook settings, and now I cannot look at both pages at once for some reason. Go in there. But I'm finna knock this man out. Y'all finna see some live child abuse.
Hey, man.
I'm throwing a ball at the back of my head. Alright, go back in there. Go in there. Go in there. Go in there and shut the gate. Go in there and shut the gate. Go in there. You gotta take care of business.
Oh my gosh.
As you can see, this is why we usually do podcasts late at night or in the morning. Your ball's in there, buddy. Where's the kid's mom? She's in there. You probably heard her. She's trying to get stuff done.
She's trying to get stuff done. I heard her.
Yeah. Y'all heard her.
That's because I'm in the other room, but...
Yeah. Peyton actually lives in the same house as me.
Yeah.
But, it's... Okay, I got it to work. I think.
Yeah, right, so... You were reading...
There she is. Yeah, Sarah, you heard her. All right, so we're going to get to what the thing's about, but first, I wanted to point out that New Year's is upon us, and as you know, you probably have New Year's resolution. I want to, are New Year's resolutions good or bad? Like, because I hear, like, there's some, like, Giga Chads out there, like, New Year's resolutions are for babies, and goals are for, you don't need... Yeah, I get the pros and cons. Like, you don't need a resolution to do better, a New Year thing, because, like, you could just get better right now. You know, you can set that goal right now. But also, I feel like that's a good measurement and like a good time period to, all right, you have till the end of the year to set this goal. Of course, there are some goals like they're way shorter or longer, like because we set our goals and we accomplish them like before the halfway through the year. So,
You want to know my opinion on resolutions?
wait, actually, I do.
They're reflections of laziness. You see, you wait till you hold off on things that like, oh, I want to do better at this, I want to do better at that. So you wait as long as you can to do a New Year's resolution. Say, oh, I'm gonna go into 2024 a different person. And then how long? Like, why wait? You know,
Just do it right now.
it's like
That's what
you got
people's
bills
main
to pay,
argument.
bro. Be like, no, I'm gonna wait till 24 to start paying my bills.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So I just forget them bills, bro.
that's why you went camping the other night.
No, I didn't. Nah, the bills got me, bro. Still ain't paid them either.
Hey, man, I don't pay mine either.
Yeah, bro. Forget a house note. So I got some bread right here. You probably saw me eat it. Abby's been making sourdough. This is homemade bread, bro.
Is it sour?
It's delicious.
Then it's not sourdough.
I feel like I never really dove into why they call it sourdough. I think it's because you just basically let flour and dough spoil.
In the oven?
No, in your cabinet. It's got like probiotics and stuff in it.
Anyway, back
It's
to
pretty
New Year's
good.
resolution.
New Year's resolutions, yeah, like what you said, bro. That's pretty much the only negative thing I have for it, or anybody has, is just do it now. Like, just get after it.
Now, I will
I
say
can get
this.
that, but like if you have like, if that's not a problem, what's up, Carson? If that's not a problem, like if you're already taking action and you just need a time frame to measure against, I mean, 1 year is good. 6 months is good. That's like every month is a good time frame. Just depending on the thing, like you need some sort of measurable time frame to accomplish stuff in a year. I mean, it's a time frame to use.
I will say, like, if you're somebody that's prone to, like,
Laying down.
actually taking stuff seriously, then resolutions can be a good thing.
I wouldn't even call them
But-
resolutions, though. I just call them goals.
Or improvements. But I
Aspirations.
feel like for the most part, because, like, you can see it, like, you'll go to, like, your gym, like, your first couple of weeks of January, and you're going to see so many new faces. And
Yeah,
then,
I feel like resolutions like is something that people use that need a drastic change too. Like they're just trying to change their whole lifestyle, switch it around just because a day on the calendar flipped over. Carson said, "Why are you so clear now?" It's called lighting.
it's because I just start drinking so much water. So now you can practically see through me.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. He's being transparent right now. So yeah, that's kind of something. I didn't really have any thoughts about that, but just some sort of topic. So a takeaway from that, set some goals, man. Don't let the year be the reason you're waiting. Like, don't set it off because of the year, but like, if you already got stuff going and you want to, set a reasonable goal and have a good time frame, a year might be a reasonable time frame for that. And I feel like a lot of times it's not really, that's just the words we use as resolution and goals, but it's really like, hey, we're looking to next year. We're looking at last year. What did we do? What do we want to do next year? Write it down. And then that's half the battle, is just writing it down. Carson said, you don't need the New Year's resolution to get stuff done. I don't think there's anything wrong with writing goals for the year and keeping track. Exactly. So I think it's important to have goals, and I mean, you can check my YouTube channel. I put my goals out, even on the podcast. The last podcast that came out was about our yearly goals. So I'm not against that. I'm more or less saying, don't let that be.
What's the point of waiting?
Don't wait to get. If you have to change your life, if you have to, just go ahead and do it.
It's like don't let November come around. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna get through these holidays and enjoy eating all this unhealthy food in the next year.
Right. That's actually a perfect time to do it. Use that calories to fuel your workouts. Use the workouts to burn the calories or whatever way you want to look at it. Like that's a perfect time to get after it. It's the end of the year, and you actually. So Carson said, "Just get it done" in all caps. He must be excited.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how to love that thing.
I loved it, and then you liked it, and then
there we go.
I loved it, and now it's gone, and now it's loved again.
I couldn't figure out how to love. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, moral of the story: just get after it, guys. Get after it. Bear it or become it. Yo, watch out for that. So last night, I don't know. Wings are like from what I hear, they're like a more recent phenomenon. Chicken wings. Like I hear old folks all the time be like, we used to just throw those out or whatever, you know. But now it's like you go to there's whole restaurant chains made after wings. How do you like your wings, bro? You like you like flats, don't you?
I like flats.
Yeah, I like flat.
But it really depends, bro. I really like. I'm more prefer glorified chicken nuggets over
boneless
anything.
Wings. I mean, they're good. Bro. I don't get people. They're like, oh, boneless wings are for. Obviously, they're not wings. They're not wing meat, but they're good, bro. It's just
I want to be able to
just
grab
with
it,
sauce on it,
and just eat it without bones. Like, what's the
use
problem
a fork.
with that?
Use a fork.
No, you don't use fork for chicken.
Why would you eat boneless wings without a fork? There's literally no reason to grab a hold of them with your hands. You're just being a little kid playing with your food.
It depends what the wings are.
It's not even do you eat chicken nuggets with your hands?
Do you eat lemon pepper wings with a fork?
No, because I don't eat lemon pepper boneless wings.
Why?
Because why?
I'll eat like
if it's a boneless wing, I eat it with a fork.
Buffalo wings with forks, but like if it's like a lemon pepper and I'm not getting
dry
sauce on it, bro, I'm using my hands.
I'll eat a dry, sauced up chicken nugget with my hands, but if it has sauce on it, I'm using a fork.
Well, duh.
Exactly.
Bro, why are we agreeing and getting mad at each other?
Bone and grilled wings are superior, though. It's like another level.
Yeah, I agree. Boneless wings are like the top of the line.
If we're talking about health. It's just meat, bro. All right, so actually I had on these notes to talk about how the Colorado Supreme Court declared Trump not able to run. I'm not sure if they overturned that, but since then Maine has come out and said, actually not the Supreme Court of Maine, just the Secretary of State has declared Trump unable to run. I don't know how you feel about Trump, guys, if you're watching. But how does that sit with y'all? What do you think, Peyton? Because I'll go into more of it later. But what do you think about that?
I want to know, since when does the states get to decide who the state can vote for?
I mean, it may be
what kind of rights are being taken away?
Yeah, I mean,
your right to vote.
Isn't that our choice? Aren't we supposed to vote on who we want? Not be like, we vote on who the state decides that we want?
Yeah, it kind of removes your right to vote.
Yeah. That makes sense. So,
your suffrage.
Sound
more.
Yeah. We're suffering.
Suffering through suffrage.
That's a weird word, bro.
I never liked it.
Have you ever voted? Yeah, you voted for presidents.
That's the only thing I voted for, and that was only because once.
But it just definitely seems, I mean, I understand if dude's a criminal, but dude has not been convicted. I thought it was innocent until proven guilty. Even then, I don't know how I feel about a criminal not, if the people want the dude to be president, I mean, shouldn't we get the option to put a criminal in? Now, I kind of have the same. Well, I have more to talk about criminals.
I'm about to say, we can go on to see who actually are criminals, and and
a lot of people. I mean,
maybe even compare the criminals to the people that are in office because they're the same person. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of it depends. Carson says he'll vote when we stop choosing the lesser of two evils and we could choose the greater of two goods. Hot take. I agree. That's what I'm kind of getting at, dude. Like, at this point, you know, I feel like last election, whether you believe it or not, I mean, we'll never know if there's election fraud. But I don't understand how you could just live your life thinking that there's nobody cheating. Carson's never going to vote. It's very likely, Sarah, that he's never going to vote.
I like how Carson said chosen. Bro can't even spell. I hope he can't vote.
If you really believe like that the election's stolen and like there's like it doesn't matter if you vote anyway, why would you vote? And what's the next? I mean, we're getting deep here. What's the next logical option if you can't even vote? Like you're already in a dictatorship at that point.
But then, like, you realize
does anything matter?
You realize that, like, you know, my vote doesn't even matter, so why am I voting? And then everybody starts to realize it, so then everybody stops voting, and then you have, like, the easiest possible win of your life if you have control over who gets voted for and who doesn't.
Well, at that point, it's kind of like, well, if our votes don't work, what will? How do we get these people out of office if you don't want them?
I won't say.
Yeah, we're getting into dangerous waters. Tune into the Patreon. We can say what you want.
Tune in to Dilda Young's
Boogaloo.
YouTube channel in a couple weeks.
All right, so Carson says 10.5 inch or 16. I will say 16.
He didn't say. He just said 10.5 or 16.
Yeah, I mean, he commented that.
I know.
I'm going to say 16. He's referring to barrel length.
I'm going to say 13.5.
Is Cookie old enough to vote? We don't know. He's not sure either.
My vote doesn't matter, clearly.
So, what do y'all think? Should we even vote? Carson says no. I'm kind of more along the lines of if they're kind of going back to what I was saying. If you think they were cheating the last election and they're already coming out, I feel like they're coming out even hotter this time. Like they're not even behind the scenes. They're just like, hey, bro, you can't run here. Just because I don't like you. It doesn't matter what the people in my state think.
I actually want to look at something right quick.
So, I mean, I'm kind of almost to the point where I don't even think I'm going to vote this election just because it didn't matter. But I don't know. Maybe y'all could sway me. Definitely need some more informed opinions on this. But
I feel like we should get a president on the podcast.
Which one?
A former president.
Barack Obama. Speaking of Barack Obama, have you watched the movie Leave the World Behind?
Yeah.
It's actually, I mean, it's a good movie.
Welcome to America after 2024.
Yeah, bro, I'm kind of nervous.
There's a reason. Never mind.
It's propaganda, bro. They're trying to get stuff in our minds.
I was going to say something, but we're a family-friendly podcast.
All right, here's a hot take, which I used to kind of agree with this. If you don't vote, then your opinion for the next 4 doesn't matter. At least if the other person gets it, you have the right to complain. Well, complaints don't help anyway. But
can I say what I wanted to say?
Yeah, I guess.
I gotta remember what I was wanting to say. I shouldn't have asked that.
You have to remember it.
Oh yeah, I'm like, it's kind of funny how the Obamas were the ones that made the movie. They're pretty much just saying what the future is of our country.
It definitely seemed. It does interest me. Because it does not seem like a movie that the Obamas would produce. We're talking about Leave the World Behind.
Even if you don't care about the movie, just go to like the last 2 minutes of the whole movie.
Yeah,
and it's
then they
pretty much like.
There's another movie coming out called Civil War. I feel like it's kind of the same. I feel like the point of the movie is pretty much the same. But also, we're talking about voting. I mean, why would you vote if your vote doesn't count? Does your vote count? Do our votes count? That's the question. All right, if you think of your vote as an investment, what is your return of investment? What do we get from it? Were the direct changes influenced by the name I put on paper? Money influences more than votes. And then he said Obama executive produced it like DJ Khaled produced his albums. He basically just, I mean, that's how all producers produce, right? They just make it happen. They just kind of sit back and say, that looked good. Drop it. Fund it. But if you think, like, I'm still kind of, y'all help me decide whether I want to vote or not. Where are you at, Peyton? You think we should vote? I feel like locally, it,
I feel like if it mattered, I would. I mean, like, I feel like I'm going to no matter what, just in hoping that somehow some deranged, incoherent puppet gets 81 million votes. But, you know, it's whatever. If you don't know where I stand in politics, then you probably just found out.
2024, Carson said. Yeah, he's definitely. I like Vivek Ramaswamy.
5K.
He's actually he's coherent, has some good thoughts. So
yeah, he can speak clearly. That's like the number one.
That's
I feel like one. You know, if you can at least talk, you have to at least be able to talk to be president.
Jambalaya, yeah.
Plus, how old is the dude?
13.
38 years old. That's much better than like the 80-year-old we have in office now. There should be age limits.
You know, if Trump would have got elected, he would have been the oldest president ever elected too.
But it's crazy how coherent he is versus the person who's in now. But I do think there should be age limits on who can.
Trump's like your crazy granddad that just says dumb stuff. Oh, that's just granddad.
Jambalaya.
And
Juan Carson said the same thing I said.
You said it. What? All right, so should we vote? I feel like I'm pondering right now. Not pandering. We're gonna get, if you're watching, we're gonna get to that post I made.
Pondering over yonder.
That I received a lot of pushback from.
That he decided that he's gonna give in.
Yeah, Peyton's one of the people that
rather than standing on business.
They said I need to stand on the business. All right, so should we even vote? Like, I'm just thinking. All right, Carson got a comment. It says Dave Chappelle in it, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if Trump is any better. Dave Chappelle called him an honest liar. When the mediator asked Trump if the system was rigged, he said, I know it's rigged because I use it. Hot take. Just going to start saying that. Hot take. But, yeah, so, I mean, if you don't, like, the logical line of thought for me, which I've already talked about this on the podcast, probably a little more recklessly than I should have, is, like, if my vote doesn't count, if they're just going to elect whoever anyway, then, you know, we don't really live in a democracy or republic, whatever you want to, whatever it is, whatever it's supposed to be. If they're just electing themselves, that's something different completely. And the America as we think we knew it is not here. It doesn't exist. And, you know, if people that are Trump supporters, I mean, you got to look at who showed up to January 6th. You know, it's rednecks, people with guns. Not the type of people you want to make real mad, in my opinion. You know, that wasn't an insurrection. You have to be dumb to think it was. Because, you know, if it was, that was the worst attempt I've ever seen in my life. Why didn't they shoot a single shot? You know what I'm saying? Usually when you're trying to fight a war, you use bullets and not a protest. We finna get banned on the comment section here. But, you know, we might actually see, which I'm not saying go do this, feds. but we might actually see insurrection attempts. Like, because, I mean, if my vote doesn't even count, you know, and I'm a die-hard Trump supporter, but I can't even vote for him because, you know, they're still in the election. They're doing this illegal stuff. All right, these are criminals. They're not going to fix it. I'm going to fix it, you know.
So,
If you kind of get where I'm going, hopefully you do. Hopefully I've hinted around it enough. There's certain things I probably shouldn't say on this type of outlet because they won't let me say anything again because, you know, free speech isn't really a thing anymore.
yeah, what's free speech?
But, yeah, you kind of know what I'm saying. I won't be surprised if stuff goes down next year. If this stuff goes any farther. Or even if he just, you know, loses.
All right. I'm about to type something out so I don't forget because you just gave me an idea of what to say. But I want to hit on two things now. So I want to go back to what Carson said
Well, let me.
a second ago.
If they don't get the, you know, if they act up too much, there's going to be some more of these going around. But they're actually probably going to get used.
I love coffee, man.
Yeah, you got to get caffeinated.
So I want to go back to what Carson said a second ago. You say, like, I don't know if Trump's any better. I think the two-party system has screwed over our nation.
For shizzle.
And then not only that, it's like there's only one option out of each one, you know, because you get all this backing behind one candidate, and then that's the only one that everybody else is under his shadow for the next 8 years.
And it's
whether
really,
he wins or not. Because, you know, if he doesn't win the first time he runs, he's going to run again more than likely. And it's really, he has all this extra backing behind him.
And it's really about the money behind them, too.
So
who the people in power want in there, and that's who they're going to fund, and that's who they're going to push. They're going to smear everybody else unless they need them. And then, you know, they're just going to pay. It really is. It's pretty sad how much money you need to just run.
And it's like, regardless of like, because politicians are corrupt. We all know that. We know pretty much every politician is a corrupt politician. So, but I will say, I do think, like, regardless of what, you know, because Trump will admit to things he's done, right? You know, like avoiding taxes. People seem to get mad at him. He's like, yeah, I did that, you know. But, like, I feel like it's very clear.
What you do. I mean, there's people. Oh, man, let's keep moving.
Yeah, I'm going to say, so for this year, I'm not going to argue. I don't really keep up too much with candidates and stuff until it gets to like the nitty gritty part. So I really don't know like if anybody running for like the Republican side is better than Trump or not this year. I will say that I do believe literally any person could run Democrat and be better than Biden. And so I will say I do think Trump is better. But as far as like, because like, look how well our country was for 4 years. People will argue back and forth that, this place was a sewage dump or something for 4 years. And our economy was great. Business was booming. Our relationships with other countries such as Russia and China and North Korea. Now look at them.
They definitely
under new leadership.
Weren't trying to mess around and find
leaders, out. Yeah. Because, like, that's what I liked about him is he was blunt, you know. They knew
marijuana.
If they screwed up with this dude, bro had balls. Bro's going to drop a nuke on you, probably.
Yeah, he's just that unstable. I definitely don't think he's a great... Trump was not, like... He did a lot of good things. His leadership and his talking, his character, you know, questionable. His policies had us in a good spot, you know. But, you know, I would, you know, him against Biden, I'm probably going to vote him. Just because, I mean, even if you just look at the presidency, you know, yeah, Trump had the COVID thing go down, and he was listening to the experts, and it didn't work. Whatever they were telling him, and it's the same experts that Biden had. So I mean, it wasn't Biden got in office and automatically COVID disappeared. It's just what's going to happen after a certain amount of time is going to disappear. But I mean, just looking at Biden is not fit for office. If you just look at some of the speeches he makes, like how can this guy make decisions for our country if he can't even make a coherent sentence? And I'm not Mr. like just pro Trump. I don't really particularly like Trump all that much. Like I said, he had our country in decent shape. I mean, you're not always going to love everything everybody does.
But I think when comparing him to, like, at least, I think it's clear that he's a better candidate than the Democrats that he's running against.
And still people are just going to vote for him just because that's what people tell them to do. People don't think for themselves.
People can think for themselves? I didn't know that was an option.
I don't think so.
Which kind of wanted me to get to our next thing, kind of get off of the presidents.
Yeah, I mean,
you said something about freedom of speech not existing. There's a common, before we get into like what this podcast is actually supposed to be about.
We'll get there. We might have to do a part 2.
There's what is on my desk? Anyway, there's a
computer
specific topic in today's world. Well, really, I won't say today's world. Today's American
economy.
News. And that is gun control. I only want to bring this up because something you'll see, like if you see gun videos on YouTube or TikTok, Facebook, wherever, people will bring up the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. And then people will say, oh, well, that's just what it is. It's an amendment. It's meant to be changed. Why can't the First Amendment be changed? What if we took away your freedom of speech or your freedom of press, freedom of assembly? And how would you feel after that? I mean, we're already losing the freedom of speech. You cannot speak for yourself.
Sure enough.
So why does like, oh, it's meant to be changed only seem to work towards the Second Amendment?
But an argument I've seen is like they try to argue that the Second Amendment was only for muskets and the weapon cannons.
See,
not cannons, but muskets.
The funny thing is, it was meant to have the same exact, pretty much, I'll just say armory that the military had.
Grade, But
I wouldn't say military grade. It's just another word for the best cheap material.
The civilians
you could
use. had better guns than the armies back then. But if that's the truth, if that's how it was written, then free speech doesn't count for online because it's only for typewriters and letters. That's
I got to get back in focus. I'm a little.
Bring your face forward. That's the instruments they used back then. And if the Second Amendment only applies for what they used back then the First Amendment only applies for that. But yeah, we're in for a rough
I should
ride.
Literally be able to own a tank. But that's what
I don't see a problem with that.
That's what the Second Amendment implies.
I don't see a problem with it, honestly.
Why can I not own an AT-4 rocket launcher?
I don't know.
Or a rocket-propelled grenade.
I don't know. You could own tannerite.
Why can I own 100 pounds of tannerite but not put a foregrip on a 13.5-inch barreled AR?
Seems pretty infringed to me. But what do? You just kneel down and just say, okay, it's just what they say. And it seems to be what the popular stance has been up until, recently. People
and honestly, what choice do you have?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to go to jail.
Like, I will say, I don't have any illegal firearms, but what if I grab my 13.5-inch barrel, 11.85-inch barreled AR next to me and put a stock on it and a foregrip and a silencer without paying anything. Boom, that's $10,000 and 10 years in prison. Sounds pretty infringed to me.
Yeah, and I mean, the NFA is basically for people for like devices that aren't common too. So I mean, it seems pretty common to me to have all three of those. I mean, every video you see, people have all that on there.
I have almost the same exact guns over here. One's got a stock, and one I would go to prison if I put one on it. That don't make sense.
Makes no sense.
But welcome to America.
Makes no sense. But yeah, I think, he didn't have anything to say. I think that it could be a rough ride, so just be ready, guys. So
strap up.
Strap up. So our local police chief we're getting into local matters here. Our local police chief, with the rise of recent shootings in the area, has resigned. At least this is, I don't know the guy. I don't know why he exactly resigned, but the narrative out there is that shootings have risen. The board has forced him out, forced him to resign, and because they weren't happy in the uptick in shootings. My question is, what can the police even do about that?
They can respond to the call of a shooting.
And they did that. What can you do to prevent a shooting? Nothing. If they're going to shoot you, take away the guns. Yeah. Now there's more dead people.
We tried that with cocaine.
But everybody's still high, bro.
They even make it themselves.
But there's literally I don't fault the police chief for the rise in shootings. We'll get into what the problem actually is later, but I don't mean we can get into it. But what I'm trying to say is the police cannot say, "Oh, there's a guy about to take a shooting over here, about to shoot over here 2 blocks away. Let me pull up, arrest him before he does it." I mean, he can't hear dude 3 streets over getting ready to shoot somebody and read their mind. The best thing that a cop can do is react. Proactive policing is this is a touchy subject probably, but there's a line where proactive policing becomes an infringement, which is probably where we got all these 3-letter agencies.
3LA. Dang, well, you just gave away what my comment stood for.
Yeah, look at the comments, which it's a more nuanced discussion on all that.
Actually, something I want to double check right quick.
Live your life like no one's coming. Exactly. We got Coy Haley. How's it going, Coy? Carson brought him over, I think. But the best the police can do is respond, and you have to be your own police force. I'm not saying for your whole neighborhood. If somebody tries to rob you, the saying is, when minutes count, you have seconds, right? So, or when seconds count, the police. I have the quote right here. Let me actually read it because being dyslexic. When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. We're pro cops. I'm not saying anything bad about cops. I'm just saying you have to protect yourself, because by the time cops get there, it's already done. The crime's already over.
I'm about to Google something. I want to find this out.
Unless you have a cop stationed at your house, which is the reason for school resource officers, to protect the kids. They're going to be minutes away.
Yeah, I'm about to find the closest city to us. For example, Nashville, Tennessee, in 2019. This is just, I Googled it, so I really don't know whether this is true or not, so don't take my word 100%. But the average response time in 2019 for Nashville police was 5.4 minutes. You're not going to have 5.4 minutes for someone to enter your house, and
they're gone by then.
Clip.
So you have to be your own police force, meaning you have to defend yourself, right? And you have to defend your own family. And if something happens, you have to be your own first responder. With 5 minutes, you could bleed out by then. You could be dead by then. So,
and that's what we want social workers for. So they can come to your house in 5.4 minutes and talk down the threat at your house.
Exactly. Second, save lives. He said he believes it so much he opposes hammer-fired firearms. He wants them like instant, bro. No, like you're losing seconds from that hammer. But yeah, that's why I say be prepared, protect yourself, carry a gun.
And you know what else? Go
Get a
to the
tourniquet.
gym.
Yeah, go to the gym. We're about to get into that. Go to the gym. You freaking
Fatso.
I didn't say it.
I said it. What you gonna
I got
do?
in trouble
Come
for
for me?
saying it. Yeah, come for Peyton.
No, I don't care if you're fat or not. As long as you had a.
But
as
it's
long
on
as
you,
you're
bro.
trying to better yourself.
Now listen to this. This is how I wanted to get in that. Everybody wants to fire the fat cop, right? Because he's out of shape. How is he going to defend?
The desk.
Now,
The
if you're
front door.
if you're supposed to police and be your own cop for your own family, why don't you have the same fitness standards?
That's why I lost all that weight I lost.
Exactly, Peyton. And you changed skin color.
I lost negative 20 pounds, bro.
You gained it, bro.
Bro.
And you got lighter today. That bright light.
Yeah, bro.
But
I let the sun in.
That's the logic I'm coming with. Is like if we're supposed to be the response to what happens to us and our family, if we're supposed to protect them, why don't we live with the same standards that the police force has? Which I know a lot of police forces don't have any standards once they pass the academy, and that's a whole nother discussion or note. You know, we might talk about it, but
Before we go any further, for our listeners, what Dylan is referring to here, I'll say it for him since he's already received a lot of hate, so now it's my turn, and I don't care. Dylan posted a video, when was that, 2 weeks ago?
yeah, something like that.
Two and a half weeks ago or something. He left the gym, and he got in his car, and he took a video. And whatever the title of this live stream is, I don't remember. Well, I don't know what the title of the podcast is going to be, but it's going to be something along the lines of, if you are unfit, physically unfit, you are a burden, but more so a liability. I won't say a burden because, like, people tend to
I use these words. Okay, it's a different.
People
it's a
tend to
certain
not
order I use them.
understand. People tend to hear what they want to hear. I'm calling out every single person that watched his video. I'll also call out the fact that the people that agreed with what he said were men. Were his target audience. But pretty much what he was saying is, he said, look, I just left the gym, and I wanted to get on here and say, like, go to the gym. If you don't go to if you are physically unfit and physically weak, you are a liability to your family. He actually said, you're a burden. Because, like, in the time, if you ever are in a event or you are ever in a moment in life where, like, you need to protect your family, if your house is burning down, right, your wife is in the other room and your kids are in the other room, if you can't pick up, like, your passed out wife, throw her on your shoulder and have a kid in your other arm because you're too weak to do so, that means you have to choose which one you're going to save and which one you're not. Do you want to put yourself in that kind of situation?
You gotta live with that. If
you are physically unfit to be able to save your family in times of where they're not strong enough to do it, or they're a newborn, I won't say a newborn, but like a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, like, that's the whole point of this video. Now, it's since been deleted. I'm sure he still has it in his camera roll. He may as well. Did you post it on TikTok?
I think I deleted it off everything.
Look, you got to go back and repost it. We'll post. Just post
I wish I didn't at this point because I really want to go through the comments.
Yeah, it's like, I wish, like, you would have posted it as, like, unlisted on YouTube, so you can just put the link in the description and people can go and watch it if they want to. But, like, the whole point of this video that he had posted was what I just said. Like, if you are physically unfit, you are now a liability to your family. Our job as we as men need to be strong, need to be fit, need to be capable of using our natural born what's the word I'm thinking of?
Physicality,
Yeah, I was trying to say like
stature.
we're naturally stronger than women, right? But I'm trying to put that in a way that women's feelings don't get hurt. And I couldn't think of the word, but anyway, we're naturally stronger than women, right? Am I saying that there are women that deadlift 600 pounds? I can't deadlift 600 pounds.
You can do 5 though.
But I know if this house were to start burning, I could pick up my mom, I could pick up my dad, and take them out the house, because I'm physically strong enough. Can my little brother do it? Probably not, right? So, you being unfit, you not being strong, makes you a liability and puts you in a position where you have to make tough choices that you will live with for the rest of your life. Not saying that not everybody is going to make tough choices, but that I didn't even think of that example before I said something a few minutes ago. Like if your wife is your house is burning down, your wife's passed out, and you got kids in the other room.
Yeah, it definitely could help.
Like, if you are not strong, you have to make a choice of who to save.
Yeah.
Do you let your wife die in the other room, or do you save your kids?
And
or vice versa.
You could be the biggest guy ever and in shape and all that, and still have to make a choice. But you did what you had to do. And what I was really, like you said, my target audience was men, and every man that commented understood what I was saying. I feel like there was just like a language barrier almost, but just about everybody that pushed back against me was a woman. So
everybody that wasn't a part of the target audience, like even some of the women that commented, I saw was agreeing with what you were saying.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, he was a little too harsh," or it's like, and then we're in a group chat, and I said like, men know what is expected of them. There's a reason that they didn't, come throwing hands in the comments, because they knew that, hey, look, I'm overweight, and I understand where this guy's coming from. If I can't save my family when they need me the most because I'm just unfit, then what am I doing?
Right. And a woman would never tell their husband, hey, you kind of weak, man. You can be able to protect us when it counts, or do what you got to do. Because women, I mean, honestly, from my perspective, women don't really think about that type of stuff. Like, they love you and they're going to accept you how you are no matter what. But, from what I could tell, man, they're kind of more wired to think about protecting their family.
Think of it like this. I saw somebody's comment. I won't say names.
Probably can't remember the names, by the way.
I do actually. I think I remember the name of this one. But, and I'm not going to go the direction you think I'm going to go with this. But, she said that I would much rather have a strong spiritual head of the household than a strong physical head of the household. And I was saying that to kind of go with what you were just saying. A woman's not going to tell their husband, like, hey, are you strong enough to save us in this situation? See, there's a reason when you break up into your small groups at church, your women all gather together and your men all gather together, right? Because the women are going to understand each other. The men are going to understand each other. You're not going to have a man leading a woman's group and a woman leading a men's group. So the reason he posted that video was, as a man, to let other men know what is expected of them.
Right, and I since deleted it. Not because I folded to the pressure. I actually left it up for a couple days, and it wasn't getting any more traction. I just felt like I needed to take it down. I felt like God told me to take it down. That's just doing what I felt like I needed to do. But I did post another video saying basically the exact same thing in a little nicer tone. And
in layman's terms.
Laywomen's terms. I think I did make a mistake with posting it on Facebook, which I don't think it's a mistake. I just think that it did not hit my target audience. If I would have posted it just on YouTube and TikTok and all that, it would have only went to men, just because that's my target audience. That's who's going to watch that type of video, because that's the type of video that comes across my feed every day. And but it went to my friends and it got a little negative pushback at first. And it pushed that to people like the people that were not liking it and commenting on it. And so at first I was receiving a lot of negative pushback, and I was really about to, like, within the first, which I didn't expect it to get any traction at all, honestly, because any of the other videos I posted on Facebook don't receive anything. Like, I don't get almost any reaction at all.
But when you say something that people need to hear, they get defensive. And it's not even the people that needed to hear it that got defensive. It's the people that it wasn't even targeted towards. Like, don't talk about my husband that way. He works a 9 to 5 and his job's very hard.
And I don't think I even...
the point.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even say, like, you're not a man unless you go to the gym. I said, as a man, you need to go to the gym so that you're not a liability to your family when the time comes.
Yeah, like, we're reading comments without reading the comments because we don't have them. But I do remember some of them because I was going through laughing, right? And I've even had people talk to me about it outside, like, of the post, saying, like, oh, that video he posted, I don't know what they were talking about in the comments. Like, we agree with everything he said. Or they'll say, oh, yeah. Because somebody else commented, was like, you know, my husband works a 9 to 5, and his job, you know, he sits at a desk, but it's very hard for him. But he's not a burden to our family. And he's like, oh, what about the blue collar men that work 12 to 14 hours a day? Are they still a burden to their family? And they were talking about, because, like, if he works 14 hours a day, now you want him to go to the gym for 2 hours and then not get home until bedtime, and then they go to sleep, and then they have no family time. That is completely avoiding the subject of the video.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the gym's not the only way to get strong, right? You go to the police academy, or you go to, like, if I'm using police academy as an example of, like, a job, right? If you have a physical job, right? If you're a blue collar worker, right? Let's say you work in construction, you're picking up wood, you're picking up concrete, you're pushing wheelbarrows, you're getting stronger. You know, you go to the military or law enforcement, you know, through your training, through the academy, you're getting tested and you're getting physically and mentally stronger, you know?
Becoming fit for the job.
So the gym was just the example he used, because Dylan, he sells insurance, right? He doesn't have a physical job. He's not in military, not in law enforcement. He's using what he uses to get strong as his example.
Right. It's just a metaphor for just putting work in, basically.
It's giving you one of your options to not be a liability towards your family.
I do want to apologize that a minute is not an hour discussion, so a lot of people were mad because it was only a minute long, and I didn't say everything that's ever crossed my mind in the nuances. And
so now we're going to post a video of me saying everything I've said and tag every single person on that video on here.
Yeah.
And then get their new response.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, which was fine, because a lot of people kind of, they posted what you were saying, like, oh, my husband does this or does that. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I can kind of understand why he wouldn't be able to go to the gym. You know, they're working 14-hour days. Obviously, I mean, and he's a physical job. Okay, yeah, but that still doesn't mean he can't get better. But, you know, I can understand. There's an excuse. You know, the people that, you know, are physical liabilities and burdens, like, this is for them. Not the people like that dude's just naturally a beast, you know. But, you know, I went back and responded to some of those, and we kind of were like, okay, yeah. And just because I had nuance in my conversation, you know, I was getting pushback from those same people again, saying I was crawfishing and going, you know, whatever that means. I was tiptoeing around, you know, trying not to hurt any feelings or whatever. I'm like, bro, like, is it not possible to have nuance? You know, okay, yeah, that is an exception. Just because my video was a little dogmatic, you know, and it's only a minute, I didn't have time to go into every little solution. Okay, TikTok videos are meant for virality, and I got that on Facebook. To be honest, I didn't get very many views at all on TikTok or YouTube.
Bro got more views than he has friends on YouTube, on Facebook.
Facebook, bro. So, like, and then there's, like, I don't understand, like, I didn't say, like, the most important attribute of a man is to be deadlifting 600 and running a 5-minute mile. I didn't say anything like that. I said you need to be more capable. You need to go to the gym. You need to push yourself physically and do what you can to become more capable as a man, as a husband, so you can protect your family and not be the reason that they die. In a nutshell. But apparently, I'm ignoring the spiritual aspect, and that you don't like. That's not important. The mental health aspect's not important. When in fact, if you go to the gym, man, your mental health is going to improve. That's what studies show. Statistics show that. So, and to the people that were saying, my husband works all day and he come home, he's going to be with me and my babies. Okay. I have a family. I have a job. You know what I do? I get up before they even get up, and I'm back home before they're awake. I'm an extreme case of how long I work out. I did not say you had to work out for 2 hours a day. I did not say you had to work out every day. I just said do something.
Going on like a 15, 20-minute run can make you fitter. Right?
Yeah.
Now it's gonna be exponentially slower than you would go into a gym or doing a longer run. But like 15, 20 minutes of cardio will somehow get you slowly fitter, but fitter.
I think 20 or 30 minutes a day is proven to extend your life by years.
Matter of fact, you can do the workout at home, 30-minute home workout. You don't even have to go to a gym. That was just, again, was Dylan's example, because that is how he trains and how he
people that are in the gym,
not a liability.
People that pursue fitness, even if they don't actually go to the gym, when you say go to the gym, they know what you mean. Like I went like months before I ever entered a gym. I was working out at home, and I was in the gym culture, even though I've never been in the gym.
Like I barely go to the gym now. I just run most of the time now.
You know what in the gym means. But anyways, if you're going to make it happen, you're going to make it happen. And people are like, here's another pushback, is like, this dude's at work all day. He's away from the kids. I want to push back against this idea that being at work all day is, a break from the kids. Like, as soon as the guy gets home, you need to throw the kids on him because mama's been at home all day with the kids. So, they both, I get it. Yeah, mama's tired too, but daddy's tired too. It's not a vacation being at work. That's not a break. And I feel like a lot of people view that as a break, which it's parenting's not easy.
You just go from one stress to another stress.
Right. And it's stressful. Dads need a break too, but let's be honest, dads aren't going to ask for the break. Dads aren't going to ask for a break. But, whatever. Dad is going. He's just going to
there's another comment I wanted to point out on it. I don't remember exactly what it was, but this woman was like, is your wife also working to better herself and how she can provide for the family? And I'm just like, again, just another example of like, even when you bluntly and very simply put a point across, people will still avoid the entire point of the video or the statement or whatever, and the whole video was about men. And this, again, person not a part of the target audience of the video was talking about, hey, is this person that's not the target audience of this video working to better herself? I'm just like, yeah, I gave up.
It's another point entirely, honestly. But
no, everybody
almost
can better
everybody
themselves.
that commented was another point entirely.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
Except for the men, like, yeah, dude, I understand.
A lot of that,
I agree.
I'm going to pull it down to two things. A lot of that has to do with, the shortness of the post. I couldn't go into every nuance. Like if I would have posted a 10-minute YouTube video explaining, okay, well, this guy has an excuse. This guy has an excuse. On another note, everybody's got excuses. This is something I've been since Carson and Peyton were going. I'm like, bro, everybody has excuses. I have excuses. It's about if you use those excuses or not. But we'll move on. The other part I think that brought the problem on is the just the language. I feel like my target audience handled it well. My non-target audience was just the way that Facebook's wired differently than YouTube.
They didn't understand the words you were saying. They were too big for their comprehension.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say that, but
Oh, I'm just
It's like I was
throwing
using
no cares out there.
It's
man.
like the analogy of using locker room talk outside the locker room. I mean, I don't use what they call locker room talk, but talking to your guys, your bros, and then talking to some women, it's gonna be different. And man, you kind of understand, but people receive stuff
I had
differently.
an example, but it was a bad example. I was gonna say like this is the reason like cats they talk to each other,
Peyton's
dogs they
just
talk to
offensive
each
just
other.
by talking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
cats and dogs. That's a good one. Carson, no, I did not say I hate fat people, and I did not say you suck if you're not in the gym. No, I didn't. That's what
you
people
suck at
heard.
lifting weights. If
That's
you're
what
not in the
people
gym.
heard. And here's the thing: I had some guys comment on there, multiple guys, and I had some women comment on there and be like, "Yeah, I needed this. Thanks for saying this." And even the next day when I posted the next video, so basically I posted that video in King James, and the next video I posted it in English Standard Version. And I had a lot of people say, "Man, I saw your video. It was great." I had a lot of support off, not on comments, because I felt like the comment section was just like they were coming for me. Which one thing, like, these people are backing me up right here, texting me and messaging me. I'm like, bro, say something on the post. Back me up in person, bro. But whatever. I understand some people that were texting me. The way people were taking offense at it, they couldn't really put their name with that because there are people in positions. But, it is what it is. People are going to be offended. And I still stand by what I said. I did rephrase what I said because I guess, it technically wasn't appropriate for the audience that heard it. I could have left the video up on every other platform. I just took them all down. Yeah, they weren't really performing well on the other ones.
Hey, don't
I posted
forget
the other video, and it actually popped off hard on YouTube and didn't do anything on Facebook. So,
I just went to your newer post, and one of the comments was like, "This is funny because it's kind of true." Like everybody's entitled to their opinion, Dylan included. If he believes the world is ending and only the fittest survive, he is in fact entitled to that belief. Let's just be real. The fittest are the ones that survive.
That's true. I mean, it is what it is. But you can see I laughed at that comment. I don't know if you can see that, but I was like, yeah, I mean, what? But I don't think the world's ending. I think it
can. But the fittest do survive.
But the fittest do survive. And if something goes down, it's too late to prepare.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I liked the
gym be closed.
Example from earlier, man. Everybody wants to get rid of the fat cop.
Exactly.
He can't protect his city, so
why should
get rid of your fat husband?
Have the same standard for your family. The husband is supposed to be the provider and the protector. Do you want that fat cop to defend you? Be your personal security guard?
I mean, he can be my bodyguard. He'll take a bullet and probably won't go through him.
Or it might. Might go blub. But I did have a lot of people, say, hey, that's something I need to hear. Thank you. This is for me.
And this is mainly just to point out the people who were entirely against everything he said just because they did not pay attention to the video.
Yeah.
I think I commented on it saying, how does everybody watch the video and not watch it at the same time?
Yeah, I feel like the comments at the end kind of got out of hand with you and Sean and all that. They were trying to... So, basically, I posted this, and then it started popping off with negativity. So, I think I might have sent it to our group with all our studs in it. we all go... Basically, we all go to the gym. And they've probably all been on the podcast before, but we go way back. But everybody... It was like the highlight of the whole day. I'm glad I could provide everybody's entertainment for that day. But you were asleep.
Yeah.
But, yeah, everybody on there... So Lake and Peyton Franklin were the only two people that were take it down or whatever. I don't even think Lake said take it down. He was like, yeah, I can see why they're mad. Everybody else was like, yeah, make them mad. I'm like, bro.
And on business.
Yeah. I'm like, they were like, make another video saying it even harder. And I'm like, bro, yeah, I'm the one that has to deal with this. Okay. But it was the level of support that I received that kept the video up so long. because, at first it was nothing but negativity. And I was like, oh, am I wrong? But, this kind of goes to show kind of what we talked about, me, Carson, and Frankie talked about, just standing up for something that you believe in, which like I said, I don't take back what I said. I may have said it to the wrong person, I guess. I let the wrong person hear it.
Like, think about it, because this can, what he's saying can actually translate to literally anything, right? If you have an opinion about a certain matter or a certain group of people, and if people
whoa, hold on. Forgive me if I want your husband to be more capable, be a little stronger, and live a couple more years. Okay, I'm sorry that you'd rather him work 15 hours a day and be super stressed out and die early. But you can keep going. I just had to say that.
Yeah, he's pretty much sorry that he's gonna choose your children over you in a house fire.
Well, I never thought about the house fire, but one of my examples I put in we had I could have made a whole YouTube video out of just the comment section, but one of my examples was there was a shooting here in Batesville at an event that just about everybody in town was at, and if I was, it'd be on me if I was so overweight and out of shape that shots were fired, and my family, they had to wait on me. My 2 kids and my wife had to wait on me because I was so out of shape that I couldn't keep up. And then it would have been a shame if they would have got shot because of me. And that's what I'm saying.
Point, who's the man of the family?
Right. If it's that bad off, I'm not saying you have to be Superman. I'm just saying get better.
You don't have to.
You don't want to be the reason
600 pounds, right. Squat 5, and bench 800 like Ray Williams.
That's not a very good numbers. Very disproportionate. But
some people are built for benching.
I even said that, bro, in the post. I said you don't have to be an elite power lifter. You don't have to be a marathoner. Just be more capable.
You need to be strong enough and reliable enough for your family.
And Carson might like this, but Kyle Thompson said there's this challenge out there. I don't know where he got it, but I think it was 1 time body weight bench press. Seems pretty easy to me as a man, but it's easy for me to say when I bench 315.
Again, this is target audience of men.
Right. 1.5 times body weight squats. That's basically first day. First month at least. And then I'll 2 times body weight deadlift.
I'll look up the stats, bro. 185-pound person for the examples here, right?
And then, those are pretty easy, in my opinion. Those, for most men, those are going to be easy. For me, when I was underweight, before I started going to the gym, those were not easy. I was doing like half body weight on all that.
So let's say you're weigh 185 pounds like me, right? And this is not saying that you have to be able to do this. I'm just saying this is a good
guidelines for a basic,
like an idea of where you're at, or where you need to be. So obviously,
the bare minimum.
185 times 1, if you can bench your body weight, usually if you can bench your body weight, you're in a good spot, right? Because typically if your bench is that high, more than likely, your deadlift is already going to be up higher than everything unless you are just physically unable to do so.
Technique.
So if you weigh 185 pounds, if you can squat 280 pounds, close to that, 275 to 280, you're in a decent spot as far. Now this again this isn't a functional movement for the most part, unless it can be, if you have to treat your wife as a Steinborn squat, pick her up on the side, come up, that was just, your wife probably doesn't weigh 280 pounds, but I don't know.
She could.
We won't get into that.
Now we're talking about women's weights.
185 times 2. Picking up 370 pounds, I don't know why I just didn't do the math in my head.
To put that into perspective, my first time I maxed out, I hit all those numbers, okay? And that was within the first 3 months. And when I started, I was like 150, okay? So, and those were my numbers. It's not based on the percentage of body weight. Like those exact numbers basically were my max out numbers. I think I hit like 200 on bench, 365 on deadlift, and 355 on squat. So 3 weeks, and I was only going to the gym for an hour a day, 3 times a week for 3 months, and I got a basic level of strength like that. We're not saying you have to be an elite power lifter. just be capable, man.
Again, think of it as like
most people,
basic benchmarks, you know?
if you're working a laborsome job, you're going to probably go in the first day of the week or first 2 weeks and hit those numbers. And really, the only thing is technique at this point. But me, the reason I even got into the gym was this whole principle, because I knew, like, hey, I cannot protect my family. I'm a little scrawny little dude.
I will back this dude up. He was a scrawny little dude.
Scrawny little dude. Okay? First time I bench pressed, I did 105 pounds. First time I squatted, I did 105 pounds.
I went to get something out of my teeth and picked him up by accident. Thought he was a toothpick.
It happens. I was not capable. Okay?
He took the advice that we are trying to present to the other men.
And we're not just making this up because we're genetically gifted, okay? That's one point I want to get across, is like, we didn't wake up like this, okay?
Now, was I naturally strong? I mean, I will say, like, I'm built for deadlift, pretty much, right? So, like, my deadlift is going to be higher than other people. What was that noise?
He's like a 7 million pound deadlift. Oh. But like, the 4 standard on this, because we hit all strength standards. The 4 standard was a sub 7 minute mile. I think, Carson, if you're watching, you could confirm or deny. But in my opinion, that was like, because it took me a long time to get to that. Yeah, you didn't. Like, you tested a mile for like 6 years. So, but, and like, I probably could not hit that today. But, you know, I've run marathons. So come on, give me a break.
And again, this is for the people that actually this is for the people that are getting stronger and fitter by going to the gym, right? So, like, these things can kind of functionally translate. For example, your deadlift, you know, picking up debris. Then good. These are thinking of the, you know, insane, intense, you know, extreme events that you would need to be strong and fit in. Right?
In my opinion, it's more about effort anyways, besides the numbers. Like, just be consistent, put in the effort. You're going to be capable. You're going to get stronger and fitter.
For these people going to the gym that are using this 1.5, 2 times body weight numbers, think of it. Go back to that house fire, right? This time your wife, she's not unconscious. She just can't see because of the amount of smoke. She trips. A bookshelf falls on her, right? Deadlift translates, right? Being strong enough to pick off this debris off of your wife, off of your kids or something, right?
Hey,
or being able to push it off of yourself in case you know you're the one that needs to be saved, right?
Like, you don't even have to put it into, like, what does the bench press functionally mean? What does the deadlift functionally translate to? Like, you're getting your whole body stronger. That's how it translates. Like, and then there's also extra skill component when it comes to stuff like picking a bookshelf up.
Yeah,
it's like a deadlift. And
it's like, if the bookshelf falls on you, being able to bench it off of you, kind of thing, right? Because, like, think you try to guard a door with it and then it falls backward on you. It's still got all the books in it, so it's still heavy, right? Anyway, I'm going somewhere.
We do
else.
need to. Here's an idea, though. I'm gonna throw this out there. You know, we wanted to do this when we start our thing that we're not gonna talk about yet. We're gonna have a workout program. But anyways, let's do a little guidelines, which we've talked about this. I want to throw some stuff out there. Those are good things to aspire to. But, like, we've talked about this, but we're mainly a fitness podcast, so we're going to say this over and over, okay? My recommendation, 3 to 4 days a week, an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, that's more than enough. Me and Peyton are extreme cases. We like to kill ourselves. So,
like, I'll go and do an hour of strength and then I'll go out and run for 2 hours, you know, like, you're not going to have to do that, right? I'm fit, stupid. Okay? You know, I'm not the fittest. I'm not saying that, but I'm fit. I'm strong enough to be able to do that. If you're just now getting into it, you're not going to be able to, you may go out there and do
and
it.
That's the thing too. That's what you do. That's that's your thing. And like, for most
my
people,
everyday life is strength training and then go run, you know.
Like, that's like your favorite, like, your thing that you like to do. It's like playing video games or whatever. It's like a game you like to play, pushing yourself physically. You know, a lot of people aren't going to get there. They're not going to want to push themselves like that. But hit the minimum, be consistent, put the effort in. And I think, you know, you don't have to do an extreme thing. You just want to be capable, and doing that, what I just said, is going to get you there and more capable. It's not because you're not going to go to the gym for a month and then that's it, you know. And I'm not in the best shape that I want to be in. I want to get a lot fitter. You know, I'm bigger than I've ever been. But you know, with one, you know, there's a thing, right? And this season, I'm gonna be a little bit more out of shape. And then, you know, in 6 months, I might be a little weaker. But the goal of the whole thing at the end of the day is to be more capable. So in 2 years, I can look back and I'm stronger overall and fitter overall than I was.
Like
And
2 years from now, he's going to drop off 2 minutes off his marathon.
Exactly,
He's
2
going to be
minutes.
excited.
And that's going to be like 6 months worth of work. So here's what I'm trying to say. Is just get better every day. Like, you don't have to make huge jumps. If you get a huge jump, take it. If you get a small jump, take it. Just show up day to day, get better, improve.
I won't even say do what you have time for. Make time to become an asset.
We keep using all these key words from what we're going to talk about one day, maybe, possibly.
You are, because again, this is a episode, I would say, targeted, at least the latter half of the episode is targeted towards men. The first half was America. But this is targeted towards men, right? Again.
Which that's our main audience anyway. There's not going to be any women listening to this, really.
If you want to listen, if you like women, y'all go out, y'all come fitter and stronger too, right? We're not saying that part. It's just like becoming an asset, right? By becoming stronger. Do what you can, right? If you work 12 hours, there are days that I work 12 hours sometimes. It's not often, but I'll do it sometimes. And then I may or may not work out before or after that. There are days that I'll, just like my job, if I'm going to go in for 12 hours, I usually go in early to get those 12 hours. I don't stay over to get the 12 hours. So there are days that I may go in early, but still work out before I go in, right?
Right.
So do what you can to become an asset.
And look, y'all are going to say, Peyton, you don't have a family. You live with your parents. Okay.
But they didn't even know that until you said it.
But here's another example. And I'm not just trying to brag. There are seasons. Like, all right, so this time of the year, my main job, it doesn't pay as much, if we're honest. Okay? It's put all this out there.
Those jobs sucks this time of year.
I'm going to I get a portion of it, and then I get the rest in January, okay? But, so I have to work a little harder at the Uber and DoorDash. You know, you might have seen my YouTube video about that. Y'all go do that. It's easy money, bro. But it takes a lot of hours. And there was a week this year, I think in November, during the Texas A&M game week at Ole Miss, that I worked about 70 plus hours overall with both jobs. And I still went to the gym like 3 or 4 days. So, where's your excuse? I'm not saying that's sustainable. If you're having to work those type of hours, you know, and it's not your dream job, I would say try to find another job. You know, in different seasons, call for different things. Just like take what you can get. And sometimes, you know, you have to make sacrifice with sleep, which overall, we kind of already dug into that. Like, cut back
5 episodes.
Cut back your sleep, bro. You're not Matt Frazier. You don't need 10 hours a night, okay? But just for a basic baseline of fitness, just 4 days a week, an hour a week is not a lot to ask. Just get up an hour early and do it.
Stay consistent.
Don't stay up all night on Netflix, okay? Peyton?
Bro, that was only the one night.
A week.
One night every night.
All right, so, yeah, y'all get hard.
Be men.
Be a man.
Even you women, be men.
But look at this. Here's a whole wild tangent I'm about to throw out there. It's crazy. Doomsday prepper stuff.
Make your own bread.
Okay. Well, I actually have a point, but that bread was sitting there. Bringing back Leave the World Behind in the Civil War movie. If a war comes, don't you want to be prepared like a soldier? I'm talking to you. Like, don't you? Like,
I'm gonna say, like, we're getting it. Like,
well, we don't even have to get into it. We can stay on fitness, okay? But I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen if you're fit? You lose a
You
little
die.
time. I mean,
that's it.
you
The
live a
worst
better
thing that can
quality of
happen-
life. I mean, look at the people that are the most well-rounded, in my opinion, like the most super freak.
Yeah, like even rounds of shape. The well-rounded people eat donuts.
Right.
That was just a joke. Go back to what you were saying.
Like, look at like special forces, bro. I'm nowhere saying we're special forces because we're not even in that type of shape. I'm just saying like these people.
Dylan hadn't even put me through a boot camp workout yet.
Yeah,
Like,
suck. Anyways, we're gonna all right. We're launching our boot camp, so send $1,000.
push-ups and camping coming to you soon.
That's actually a true thing. If you're interested, hit us up. But yeah, I mean, like, look at the shape they're in, bro. They're in the physical specimens. Like
They
special
can run
forces
5 miles in 30 minutes
upside down,
with floaties on.
underwater, and a scuba tank. Not really, okay, but what I'm saying is, like, there's a standard of fitness you have to reach in the military, and that's just so they live, man. And they can keep up. Like, if
Now, granted, like I feel like the actual entry PTs are kind of
they're easy,
not hard enough, but you know that's a topic for another day.
But America is out of shape, bro. The average person, like, they're having trouble finding recruits physically able to do it. But to us, that's like, those tests are like, what? Nothing, okay?
Bro, that's like my warm-up.
Yeah, so.
Literally, like, do 2 pull-ups. Bro, I'll just, like.
We're not
I'll
average.
be deadlifting. I'm like, I'm just doing a pull-up right quick. You know, like,
muscle up, upside down.
ADHD, a pull-up up or 2.
But yeah. Anyways, that's a wild tangent. Likelihood of, well, I'm not going to say it's nothing. The likelihood of war coming to your front yard these days feels like
50% chance.
It always
either does or doesn't.
It always feels like it's more than yesterday, you know. But you know, it may never happen. But so the worst thing that'll happen is you're in more shape. You live a little longer. You know, best case. Well, not best case, but if something was to happen, you're more prepared.
If SHTF, you're prepared.
Amen. I wish we didn't. You know, that kind of goes back to something I've said a lot too. Like the I'm trying to think what it's called. Like the gullible, not gullible. Like the I'm trying to think of the word.
Brainwashed.
Not brainwashed, but like just the idea that nothing bad's ever going to happen. When historically, I mean, America's super young. There was a civil war, not too like
we're overdue.
Yeah.
If you look, like, I'm not saying like we need it. I'm just saying if you follow
statistically
historical patterns, we're overdue.
The day will come, man.
250 years ago, almost.
It's not beyond
a revolution overthrew the government.
It's not beyond reason and logic that the America that we're living in today, when we die, is long gone. You know, it's not impossible. And people are just naive. That's it. Naive to think like, this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. It's going to get better. My throat's scratchy. Hey. But, you know, and I'm not the type that's just like, oh, the world's ending. You know, it may seem like that.
Stay strapped and get
I talk about it a lot on here, but.
Bro, I just be like losing focus sometimes, bro. It's just
yeah,
like,
no, you ADHD. Camera is too. But, you know, I just feel like a lot of people, they just live their life with no worries. Which I'm not saying worry, but like, you kind of know what I'm saying? Like, they're just gullible. They're naive to think that this is just like how it is and how it's always going to be. You know, it may be, and I hope it is. For the sake of our kids and grandkids. But, you know, history says otherwise.
It's like what's one of the sayings, you know, like it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly.
I mean, this isn't like referring to tangible items, but it's better to be fit and not need it. But
the worst thing that can happen if you're in shape is if you live longer.
I mean, you have a valid point.
I'm just saying, like, what's so bad about these people being in better shape? Do you not want to see them live longer? You trying to get rid of them? Anyways, yeah, I do have other stuff I have to say. You know, if we're looking back at the post, like, I just haven't posted them yet or recorded them, but like, I have similar posts that I want to say about spiritual stuff. So, y'all, you know, that was just the one I did right then because I was like, all right, I'm finna do this. And it's not
Just
like
left the gym.
what
right?
it tells me is these people have never listened to our podcast because this is like the exact same tone and language I used on the podcast. And we
also
actually
told me they just didn't listen to the video.
Yeah, and we actually put a podcast out saying be an asset, become an asset, or whatever 6 months ago, which we talked exactly about this, if I remember right.
And this is a refresher course, you know.
Yeah,
I look stupid when I said refresher
course.
Refresher course.
But you know,
bro, say Coca-Cola without touching your lips.
Coca-Cola.
Bro, your lips don't touch anyway.
Oh, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. Yeah, man, I got a lot to say about this, but you know, there's only a limited amount of time in the day.
You know, we only have an hour and a half. We don't have a minute. You know,
Exactly.
They sat there and said like, "Well, you need like an hour video for this." Like, bro, we had one. You just didn't watch it.
It is what it is.
Or should have linked that to each one of them. It's like, go watch the pod.
Yeah, I thought about it. I don't even remember what we said. So, but yeah, so I'm just saying, bro, y'all just be ready. But y'all put the work in. Y'all go do some squats, deadlifts, benches, runs, you know, basic stuff. Okay.
Go work 14 hours a day and go home to your grumpy wife. Just kidding. This is from a guy who's single, by the way.
Yeah, don't listen to Peyton on everything. He says some good stuff and some stuff you kind of have to let it go. You know what I mean?
Let it go.
What you looking up?
I'm looking up the asset video.
All right, guys. We're gonna plug Carson's company, Lost Design, Lost. What's it called? Lost Signal
Design Co.
Lost Signal Design Company. Look that up on Facebook. Carson put a link in the comments if you're listening. Y'all go check him out. He's made some fire art. He's got it on the page. He's the sponsor of this video. And you know how he's going to pay us with art. So, y'all hit him up. Rappers, whatever you are. Bro, dude's been designing my art since 2014. Okay? So,
he designed that hat he has on.
Exactly. No, he didn't. I don't know who did. This is Bear Performance Nutrition.
Shout out.
Shout out all these people. Look.
Shout out Ozark Mountains.
We got Derek Miner on the next pod. I think it's the next one. Yeah. So y'all
Friday,
stay tuned
January
for next week.
5th at 10 a.m.
Y'all be there.
Local
be
time.
Square. Let's live on our Facebook. So
that's live in person too.
Yeah, actually, I want to talk about this that you brought up. Okay, the camping. We want to start, maybe a regular, camp with you guys. Men. I mean, if you're a woman, I don't think we'll just start with men, okay? And we're gonna eat some meat. We're gonna do some push-ups. Probably we're gonna get into it. Probably dig into the Bible a little bit. We're gonna put work in. You know what I mean? And we might shoot some guns. Do some man stuff. Okay.
Yeah. One of the goals of this podcast is to just get each and every listener, to get out and put the work in, And we typically say that in reference to going out, get in the gym, get stronger, get fitter, get faster, right? Whether you're a woman or a man. But at the same time, it's like the same thing earlier I was talking about within a church and small groups. The men break up into groups and women break up into groups, right? So like,
maybe they don't go to a church like that.
This is my example.
But this is his example.
I'm not saying that you go to church. If you don't,
you should.
I pray that you will. Maybe give it a shot, see what happens.
Worst thing,
Worst thing that can happen is you get saved.
I mean, well, that's probably not the worst thing, but that's the best thing.
It's like,
anyways, what he's saying is we want y'all to put the work in spiritually too. Not saying that you have to work. Work. But we want to push you guys physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and we want to do it in person too. We want to build a community.
So what I was actually saying was not that, but that was why he was saying, if we do a camp, it's going to start off with men specifically, because again, one of our other goals is, and it's I won't say a new goal, but it's definitely become more known, especially after Dylan's recent uprise in popularity amongst his friends. We're trying to build the men of this nation to be men. Right?
Mans.
So that's about being physically stronger, mentally stronger, spiritually stronger, not in any particular order, right? Obviously. So that's what he's trying to consider ideas of what's the best way we can build men,
Yeah, a lot of people that they do the physical stuff, they don't do the spiritual stuff. And there's a lot more churches around here than there are gyms. So, in my opinion, a lot of people need to get in the gym around here. Okay? And they're already in the churches. But there's a certain
and then there's the thing you say there's too many churches because it should all be one big group.
That's a hot take. I don't.
That's a very cold take. Denominations, never mind. We won't get into that. But
not this episode. But there's a lot of people in the churches that need to go to the gym, but there's a lot of people in the gym that need to go to church.
Let's just say that the Methodist church had a fire one day and the sprinkler system went off and everybody got saved. But when the flood came, the Baptist church got saved.
So, we not just sold out on just fitness, man. If you're slacking, put the work in. If you're slacking, you're lacking. Better get packing. You know what I'm saying? We want to do stuff like that. Community events for men. Because I've been kind of dodging them just saying men on this aspect. But yeah, we're trying to reach men. We're trying to build men, okay? That's who our target audience is. And we're not saying anything against women. It's just, that's what, me in particular, Peyton maybe as well, we feel called to build men.
We are a group. We are a part of the group that is men, right? Which, again, for the third time, I'll go back to that, breaking up into groups. We are here to communicate and to speak on behalf of men, right? And to the other group, members of our group, which are, men.
Mans.
So we're trying to build the men of this generation to be men.
So what you think? Title of the video. We'll circle around. Are unfit men a liability to their family?
Does Carson hate fat people?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyways, if you've watched the videos, I hopefully I made it clear that you're not necessarily a liability or a burden right now. But you could be if something came down and you weren't fit for that. And you can only do what you can do. So if you're doing what you can do and giving your effort, putting all your effort in, that's all you can do. Okay? So y'all put the work in. Grateful Apparel in the comments.
Be grateful for your husband.
If you shop on Amazon, click my link below and then shop on it. Give me some money. I need some money, bro.
I'm tired of him canceling trip. Oh, I gotta go Uber drive.
Yeah, that happened at least once. Between 0 and 2.
Bro, I can't run Saturday. I gotta go Uber.
I'm too tired to run. Had to Ubs. But yeah, so I hope we kind of clarified this. If not, we'll bring it back up. I mean, because this is a common theme in our podcast. And basically, if you stuck around, man, every podcast is the same, just in different order of words. So, yeah. What you got to say, Peyton? We want to hit the first topic. You ready to hit the first topic?
What first topic?
You ready to start? I feel like we're
Yeah.
ready. That was a good, intro to the video.
All right. Politics.
No, I'm just kidding. I hate talking about politics, but
I do too, but sometimes things need to be said.
it's just some stuff that, like,
When your rights are being stripped away at your fingertips,
Yep. All right.
Right to vote. Right? Never mind. We've already talked about that.
Dylan Young, still Dylan
Peyton
McCullum.
Cook 116, Peyton.Cook, P.Cook 0.
All right, so I gotta.
Just Google
We
my
finna
name.
get
I'm
it,
one
bro.
of a kind.
We finna get after it and get our pastor. All right, so we'll see y'all next time. PutWorkIn.com.
Peace out. Is that a website?
No, I don't think we do.